What's up, guys? I did a video a while back comparing URXVT and ST, which are two very popular terminal emulators, and I've decided to go with URXVT as my main one. I think it's the best out of the two, and it just makes sense to build upon something that's already got a pretty good foundation. So here's my URXVT config. Most of the configuration is just done through X resources, like the color scheme that's defined in the same way that you would do it for ST. The font is defined here, the letter spacing, cursor blink, which just makes the cursor blink, as you can see on my screen. Scroll bars, whether or not you want to have them. I think by default, URXVT does have a scroll bar on the right-hand side, but it looks kind of ugly, so I just got rid of it. And then you have the URXVT functions. So this is where extending the functionality of URXVT comes into place, because you can do that sort of like how you do it with ST, but the process is a little different. You know from my patching video that with ST and all the other suckless programs, we just patch source code directly into them, directly into either the config.h or the st.c or one of those other files that actually makes up the source code of ST. With URXVT, it's a little bit different though. You don't actually change anything with the source code of it. You just add perl scripts to it that URXVT is going to call on to extend its functionality. And I'm sure that as soon as you heard that, some of you guys are thinking, oh, perl is bloat, URXVT is bloat. Why would you just bloat an already bloated program even more? And you're kind of right. You know, URXVT, it is bloated when it comes to lines of code. Obviously, more lines of code are going to use up more disk space, but it's not bloated when it comes to RAM usage. It's not bloated when it comes to CPU usage. I made a video demonstrating that, where I used, I think it was Luke Smith's build of ST and compared it to my build of URXVT, and then even took a default, totally unedited build of ST, and it was still larger with a single terminal. And then obviously ST doesn't scale well if you're going to spawn multiple terminals, which obviously I'm going to do since I'm using a window manager here. So in my case, it just makes more sense to use URXVT. Disk space isn't that important of a resource compared to RAM or compared to CPU. So let's get started showing you how to set up URXVT. First thing to emerge it is, since we're going to be using perl scripts to extend the functionality, you have to make sure that you emerge it this way, where we define the use flag perl and then emerge x11 terms RXVT Unicode. And that only applies if you're on Gen 2. If you're on Arch or some other binary-based distribution, then you're just going to have the RXVT binary, and it's going to be built with Unicode support anyway. And to start adding things into the Perl directory, you have to first figure out where your Perl directory actually is. So a good way to do that is to just open up the manual for URXVT, and you want to search for, I think it's perl lib. Yeah, here we go. So this will tell you where you can actually put your Perl scripts to extend the functionality. So you could do it inside of your home folder. You just create this URXVT and then ext folder. But what I did is I just put them inside of user lib 64 URXVT Perl. So that's where we're actually going to be doing the configuration today. Let me copy this so I can go to it later. All right, let's quit out of that. And then go into here, so you can see that I've already added a few different things here. The one I'm going to show you is URXVT resize font, because that's what allows me to do this. I know some of you were saying that it's kind of hard to read the font in my Gen 2 box, so I installed this mostly for you guys. I can see it fine when it's the default configuration like this, but hey, if I'm gonna make these videos, you obviously gotta be able to see it. So to install this, you want to grab this repository from GitHub, so it's URXVT resize font. just go ahead and clone that into the same directory. You can see that I still have the folder here, but you don't want to leave the script inside of that folder. You actually want to put it into this perl directory where all the other scripts are, because otherwise URXVT is going to have issues when it tries to call it. And then if we come back over to X resources, here you want to add this call here. So this is actually what's going to call on the scripts that you have. Right now, the only one that I'm really using is resize font. So that's why I just have default and resize font. And notice how the string here for the function call matches the exact same string as the actual script that's in that directory. So make sure you do it just like that. And then below the function call, you can start defining the keys that you actually want to use. So I just used Vim keys because most of my settings use Vim keys just to kind of keep everything using the same idea. So to make it smaller, I've done that with Control J. To make it bigger, I did that with Control K. And to reset the font size, I just set that to Control =. So really nice there. Right quit to your your X resources file, and obviously become root if you need to be root to edit it. And then once you've edited your X resources, you want to do xrdb X resources, unless you've got your system configured to automatically reload X resources anytime you change it. And then you'll have this same functionality built inside of URXVT. So try it out on your system. I'll leave a link to that GitHub in the description of this video. That way you can access it really easily. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you enjoy URXVT with these settings over the simple terminal.